In 1997, Apple was just 90 days away from bankruptcy. The guy who saved the company did not change the product whatsoever. Instead, he changed how the world perceived it. Today, over a decade after his passing, people still buy from Apple because of the taste that this person had. This right here is the final level of authority and is the reason why Apple is the company it is today. That level of authority is called the institution. And the reality is, most founders will never get to that stage. However, there are 6 other stages right here that you have the ability to hit on. And most founders right here, they get stuck between 3 and 4. But this is where the greatest jump in authority happens. So today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be walking you through what are these 7 stages. What are the characteristics of them, and how do you jump to the next stage? And if it's the first time we meet, my name is Leon Aboud, and I'm the founder of Unfungible and founder Funnel. Over the last 3 years, we've generated over $3 million in take-home revenue and have worked with over 300 founders, helping them become #1 category leaders and authority in their specific niche. Before this, I've generated 1 billion views on Instagram, built pages to millions of followers, and I've been in the game of business and marketing for 10 years now. And what I'm going to share with you, where everyone starts at level 1, is the exact process that I've seen founders travel through, not only during my time in business, because I've seen people who back in the days were at a 3 have become a 5, some who were 5 became a 3, and I'm going to take you through the observations and kind of the strategies that I've been using to try to move my way up the ladder as well. So the first type of persona that we have right here, this is the ghost. That person is invisible. And if we are to think of all the founders that exist in the marketplace, so I'm going to draw a big circle right here. I would probably put the ghost at about 50% of all the founders who exist probably sit in that first category. So the ghost. These are founders that might have an account, they might have a YouTube channel on Instagram, but they don't really exist. They're not posting, they're not active. And instead they believe that the product will speak for itself. I oftentimes speak to these founders just because there's so many of them. And the common belief that they have is that if I build a product good enough, people will come. But as we've come to learn in the age of the modern internet, building the product alone is no longer the competitive advantage. The competitive advantage has become the distribution that you have. And there is no better distribution strategy in 2026 and beyond than the founder funnel. So the first category, I can't really name you founders because they are the ghosts. And what I tend to do when I speak to founders like this is I try to break the beliefs that they have around producing content, building authority, so we can move them to phase number 2, which is called, right here, the poster. So the poster, this is where I would probably put the second 25% chunk of these founders. So right here, the second 25% chunk, these are the posters. These are people who somewhat understand that it's important to be out there. They understand the importance of distribution and attention, but they don't really have a strategy. They're just posting for the sake of it. I would probably put the majority of the Y Combinator batch of founders that come out of Y Combinator. I would probably put them in that category. They are somewhat active, but they don't really have a strategy when it comes to what they're posting. It's sporadic. They're publishing product updates. They're publishing about the things they're learning. They're sharing pictures of themselves, but there's no real strategy. There's no gravity to their message that is all pointing down to the same center. And the way you go from being just a regular poster to level 3, which is where the game really starts to get serious. And it's at level 4 where you start really seeing the results that come from building your authority online, is where you go from being a poster to the specialist. So the specialist. So when you're the specialist, what defines someone who's a specialist is that they have owned a problem in the marketplace. And everything they do, all the content they post, how they show up is all geared towards solving that one problem that exists in the marketplace. For that specific category, and there's a high likelihood that you fall under this specific Now for that specific category, and there's a high likelihood that you fall within this segment if you have been watching the content, is you've owned a problem in the marketplace. You share tactics, you share all the things you're learning to help your ideal client avatar solve the problem, and through your solution, buy into what is it you have to offer. In this category, you can think about the SaaS founder who runs a cold email platform. They are producing content about cold email, how to troubleshoot the opportunities, how to run an actual campaign. They're trying to solve the problem of distribution and client acquisition for their client avatars. In that category right here, you can think of Alex Hormozi back in 2016, 2020, when he was the gym launch guy. He was there solving a very specific problem in the market, and he had very specific tactics that he was teaching his founders. He was a specialist. Gary Vaynerchuk, 20 years ago, when he was still the wine guy with Wine Library, perfect example. He was the wine specialist. He helped people make better wine purchasing decisions through his content. And he showcased his expertise through the content. He helped people solve a very specific problem. Now, the problem that arises when you are a specialist is that you're oftentimes commoditized. It is only a matter of time until someone else comes out with a better cold emailing SaaS business with better content that is more charismatic than you to take away your market share. It's only a matter of time until someone that has better gym launch tactics come in and take that market from you. Or a guy who's even a better wine connoisseur from you come in and steal the spotlight from you. And the biggest jump that happens between step 3 and step 4 is to stop becoming a commodity in the marketplace. And here you move from being the specialist to becoming the authority. So what makes an authority? An authority is someone who has owned a problem, but then what they've done is that they've built a unique mechanism. And your unique mechanism is your solution from the commodity trap that comes with being in the specialist bucket. This right here is the other. Now we're getting into territory where like 5% of creators online are really seen as the authority. So 5% of people right here, I'm just gonna draw this in black. Now this is the level right here that you really wanna aim for, and that is very achievable, to be completely frank with you. And the big difference between this level and every other level is that at this step, the authority has stopped renting frameworks from other people. Instead, what they've done is that they've created their own mechanism and become known for how they see the problem and how they specifically tackle and solve for that problem. Every single piece of content that they put out references the mechanism that they have. They often make posts and videos breaking down what the method is. They show you step-by-step guides about the specific method. They go on podcasts, and the first thing they get asked is, how did you come up with this method? The method is named, and it appears in pitches, podcasts, conferences, and other people start latching onto it and they start repeating it. What happens at this stage is you start having premium pricing. Because you have a proprietary mechanism, no one else from this category can take that away from you. I want you to think of Alex Hormozi's money model. That is a great example of a unique mechanism that was built around a complex subject, which is business model, LTV to CAC, cash flow. He took all these vague concepts and turned it into the unique mechanism called money models. He did the same thing. That's why Hormozi is such a world-class marketer. He did the same thing for offers. He broke down the concept of what makes a good offer, the guarantees, you need all these things that were like a cloud. He took all of these and built the $100 million irresistible offer framework. Another example in the business world is Jim Collins with the book Good to Great. If you've read the book, great book. That's where he introduced the concepts of the flywheel, level 5 leadership, the hedgehog concept. These are all frameworks and languages that are proprietary to him, and they took complex topics, made them very simple. Another great example here is Simon Sinek. You've probably seen his viral TED Talk with Start With Why, the golden circle, where it's like most companies are talking about their what, but what they should be talking about is their why. The golden circle, this is a proprietary mechanism that took a very complex topic and turned it into a very simple framework. Another great example, and that'll be my final example for this specific category, is Tim Ferriss. So Tim Ferriss, interestingly, when I started consuming him, he was around the level 3. He was talking about lifestyle arbitrage, how do you get more for your money, how do you outsource your business so you can live the life of freedom. So he was talking about a specific problem, but then when he introduced the 4-hour work week, legendary book, that's when he took all the concepts that he was talking about, lifestyle arbitrage, outsourcing, all of these things, and became a proprietary method that today people read, they watch, they do, and a lot of people have come out of it building their own businesses around the 4-hour work week concept. So that's how he became a level 5 authority right here. And now we move into the 5th level of authority. And right here, this one is the category king. I want you to think as the category king is what happens when the authority markets their unique mechanism for long enough. You see, as marketers, we understand that you need to market your product, right? And it takes multiple touch points across multiple channels, across multiple communication strategies to get people to remember your product, right? Right. The same thing applies for your concepts. When you introduce a concept to the marketplace, you have to advertise it just like you advertise your products. And the category king is what happens after the authority has marketed their unique mechanism for long enough, well enough, and the unique mechanism has product market fit. Just like a product has product market fit and it starts having that loop where it feeds on itself and it grows, your concepts and ideas also have product market fit. And what happens when all these things happen, product market fit, marketing plus time, is you start having the category king. The category king is when other people in your industry start using your unique mechanism in their day-to-day verbiage without them necessarily having to reference you. Someone I would put in level 5 right here, which is the category king, is Naval Ravikant, for example, if you've heard of him. Freaking legend. And Naval, he really coined the term of don't trade time for money. Instead, you want to build leverage. So he introduced a new way of seeing the world that today people look through it without necessarily having to credit him. This is what the category king looks like. And it's nothing but the unique mechanism with product market fit that is advertised for long enough until it becomes typical lingo. Now, step 6, that's where we get into the category defining personalities. The types of people that forever change markets, that forever change how humans act, behave, and do things. And this right here is the movement. This is level 6, the movement. The movement is what happens when the category king's unique mechanism, so unique mechanism plus PMF, product market fit, plus marketing. It's what happens when these things allow people to start building their own businesses on top of that unique mechanism. I have a great example. You'll understand the example. Russell Brunson, he coined the term funnels. Before, the concept of funnels were, okay, you want a landing page that has just one message, one hook, one call to action, and then it's a landing page that just has like one offer, and you want to drive traffic to that one landing page so that people can move to the second step of the landing page, right? It's like complex, what is he talking about? He introduced the term funnel. It's a funnel now. And he built his entire business, his entire brand around ClickFunnels, introduced terms like funnel hacking, all these things. How many people today have made a living off building funnels? Whether it's SaaS companies, whether it's service providers, whether it's people who have built their entire business around the concept of funnels. This is what the movement looks like. It's when your idea becomes something that other people build their entire business around. And this is the point where other people start making money from your concepts without you ever having to be part of the equation. I'm sure there are multi-million-dollar companies that have launched because of Russell Brunson's funnel, and they might never hear about Russell Brunson. They might have never heard of him, but that was the legacy that was created. This is the movement. So the category king has an audience. The movement has an idea that pays others who've never met the founder of that idea. Another great example that I have for you right here is Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins ushered the age of modern personal development. Back in the days, it used to be only about psychology, do it to a psychologist. He came in and he mass marketed the concepts of personal development. And how many people today have built a career around personal development, around being a life coach, built applications about helping people with personal development habits? All of these were because of things that he ushered. And that's why today he is still seen as the GOAT of personal development, because he literally opened the door for a lot of other people to build their own million and billion-dollar enterprise on top of the path that he opened up for them. This is what the movement looks like. Another one is, love him or hate him, Andrew Tate. He absolutely would fall under level 6 as well, the movement, because he has ushered the age of modern masculinity, whether you believe in his arguments or not. But one thing for sure is he has created new opportunities, and he has rode that movement that he created with people to build their own businesses, grow their own channels, launch their own startups, all of these things. He ushered the age of masculinity, you can call it. And by consequence, a lot of other businesses were built under him without him necessarily being part of it or having touched these businesses himself. Now, the final level that we have right here, and this is the level almost no people are ever going to reach, but there's something philosophical about this level that is going to tie everything back together. And this right here is the institution. This is the level I would put Steve Jobs in. This is the level I would put Warren Buffett in. These are people whose concepts and ideas will forever outlive them, long after they have disappeared. The value investing from Warren Buffett will forever be part of Berkshire Hathaway long after he's gone. Berkshire Hathaway will continue becoming a bigger and bigger company as time goes, whether Warren is part of the company or not. The company itself, the memos that are written, they quote the institution, the individual, like some religious manuscript. The fingerprints of these people will forever remain part of the company. Think of Steve Jobs and Apple. Although Steve Jobs is no longer with us, his taste remains part of Apple and will forever be for as long as Apple is around. Same thing with Dale Carnegie. 70 years after his passing, his company, his concepts, his ideas are still around with us. The Rothschilds, for example. These are institution figures. And as I was working on this video, I had a very philosophical revelation that came out of it. If you were to rethink of all the examples that I gave at every single stage right here, Alex Hormozi 10 years ago, Gary Vaynerchuk 20 years ago, The Authority, Simon Sinek, Category King, people like Russell Brunson, the movement, Tony Robbins, and then right here we have Warren Buffett and Steve Jobs. If you notice something about every single level, the people on average that are part of every category, they're older in age. The Alex Hormozi 20 years ago was a level 3. The Gary Vaynerchuk 20 years ago was a level 3. Today you can put him at a level 5, even a level 6, depending on which lens you're looking at it. And it proves to show how greatness and authority is not something that you can just shortcut your way into. It is things that take a lot of time. And there's a reason why, at the final stage, these people are mostly passed on. While here, these are people that are usually early in their journey. And you might be a 3, you might be a 2 right here. But the beautiful thing about this right here is you can see that you could one day become a level 6. You could become a movement one day and have the lifetime impact that you've always wanted to have. But the only thing that is true is time. It will take a lot of time. And the sure way for you to never get to level 6 is if you stop and you give up, or you pivot and you go back to the beginning where you let go of all your mechanisms and you start again. And you might have to do this a couple times before you get PMF. But the real secret here that I want you to take away from this video is you could achieve the authority and the impact that you've always wanted, but it will take time.